What up, guys? Carolina Jackpot checking in. It's Monday evening, September the 16th, and I've had a couple of days to reflect on the loss to Alabama. Not a whole lot to talk about there left. Want to focus on this Saturday's upcoming game against Missouri. 4 p.m. kickoff, 3 p.m. if you're on Central Time, from, I think it's Farott Field in Columbia, Missouri, the other Columbia, the Podunk one. And it's going to be televised over on the SEC Alternate Network. We're on the Alternate Network, and Kentucky and Mississippi State gets the Primo SEC Network, I guess. They have it on the streaming service that I use here to watch games at the house, Sling TV. I also use YouTube TV. I kind of got both of them going on right now. I'm going to dump one or the other pretty soon. I only got YouTube TV earlier on in the summer because I was able to watch CBS Sports Net on it. I just wanted to watch the Arizona versus Hawaii game and just give it a trial, but I liked it, so I kept it. And another thing about them is they're carrying my Atlanta Braves baseball games on Fox Sports South. And Sling TV had kind of gotten into it with Fox or something, and they dropped all their networks off there. I don't know if they've reinstated them or not. I've been watching it on YouTube TV, but at any rate, that's where the game is. Hopefully you Gamecock fans are able to find that game and watch it. It's a little bit of an obscure place. At any rate, Alabama game this past Saturday, there were some positives from it. Still a lot of negatives, though. We played piss poor on defense, especially at the defensive backfield. We did not tackle very well in space. Going back and watching now, I was very disappointed in that Jamias Williams still cannot form tackle after he's been there for 3 years. Disappointed in his play. Disappointed in JT eBay and, Israel Makumu and J.C. Horn. JC's probably the best one back there. They didn't play very well the other day. Yeah, I get it. I know we were playing #1 Alabama, but #2, whatever. I think they're the best team in the country, just from the eye test and what I saw. Sorry, Taters. They just are. I mean, they passed the eye test for me. Y'all don't. I mean, their quarterback hadn't thrown 5 interceptions, and you had his receivers bail him out of the garbage passes that he's thrown. Tua Tagovailoa just shredded us. They shredded everybody they played, and they're going to shred everybody on the schedule this year. It's just a fact. But I think they're the best team in the country. From the eye test, defensively, they're probably not the best team in the country. Ryan Helinski went out there, had himself a pretty good day. He was able to get into a good rhythm. The only thing about this game coming up that kind of worries me a bit, well, there are a lot of things that worry me about it. It's the first time that he's gone on the road. Young freshman has played 2 home games, got a lot of crowd support behind him, a lot of emotion. He kind of played out of his mind a little bit Saturday. So I'm interested to see how he's going to play on the road. And this is a road environment, and it's kind of a weird road environment too. I don't know if you've ever watched many games at Missouri, but I mean, it's just weird. I mean, the field sits so, I mean, the fans are like a lot further away from the action than what they actually are at most college football stadiums. It's just a weird layout. You'll have to see it to know what I'm talking about. If you've seen it on TV, you do. I don't think that crowd is particularly rowdy. I don't. Now, they were in 2013 when my Gamecocks played there, and they were ranked like number 3 or 4 in the country, obviously. They were going to be rowdy. I mean, anybody's would be. But as a norm, there's not a huge crowd advantage there. We went up there last time in 2017. We beat them handily, and they ended up having a pretty good team that year. I think they reeled off like 6 or 7 wins in a row. So anything's doable. We're going, right now, we opened up as a 10-point underdog. I think it's dropped to like 8.5. I think that's too many points. Watching Missouri, I've watched highlights and broke down some stuff on all 3 of the games they've played this year. Didn't really focus on too much on this past Saturday night's game against Southeast Missouri. I mean, they obviously overmatched them. Southeast Missouri was horrible at the line of scrimmage. One thing about them, though, they did force Missouri into like 4 field goals 4 or 5 field goal attempts. It was a lot. Their kicker was busy. And they should have been scoring touchdowns against this team. They scored a lot of them. Should have scored a lot more. But the game against Wyoming, you know, they lost that game. Was 37-31. And the score for a while looked a lot worse than that. But when I was going back and looking at things, really, they gave up a chunk, 27 points in the second quarter to Wyoming. And other than that, they virtually held them in check. Wyoming's quarterback wasn't able to do a whole heck of a lot against them. Their running back did. Their quarterback did running the ball. I mean, throwing the ball, not effective at all. The next week, West Virginia was the one I kind of watched the most of because it kind of compares to me more against what they would face with my Gamecocks. West Virginia kind of in rebuilding mode. They were not good defensively at all against Missouri. No pass rush. And Kelly Bryant is a guy that, you know, I know what I know about him from, you know, him being a Clemson player and being there for so long. This dude cannot complete forward passes, okay? And he's gone to Missouri, you know, whatever. But he is not playing behind an elite offensive line there. He's playing behind a decent offensive line. I saw him at Columbia. Yes, I seen him play against Carolina. I know. He torched us, right? Well, guess what? He was playing behind 4- and 5-star offensive linemen. Here, he's playing behind a bunch of 3-stars and maybe a couple of 4-stars. There's a difference. I mean, there's a huge difference there. And at Clemson, let's just face it, he had a T. Higgins as wide receiver playing for him. He had a Hunter Renfro. You know, he had a laundry list of names that aren't there anymore and some that are, but their receiving core was just better. I mean, they just were. They have Jalen Knox here and Albert O, the tight end, a pretty good receiving tight end from what I've seen, but he still doesn't have the level of weapons that he had at Clemson. And that offensive line is not what theirs was. I think this 8.5 points is too much. I think that we are going to score some points on this team. I think that they're bound to give some up. Their defense is good, but, I mean, yet the level of competition, just, I mean, it hadn't been there. The kid from West Virginia had a bad one there. That was his first road game he had played in, actually. So, well, our first road game of the season, actually. I'm not exactly sure how much action he's seen, but they didn't look good. South Carolina's going to go in there Saturday, and I just fear the Alabama effect and losing to Alabama twice in a season. And of course, by that I mean the hangover from losing to Alabama and getting your brains beat in by them carries over to the next game. And they cannot, I repeat, they cannot allow that to happen. This is a do-or-die situation. It's a do-or-die situation. If you lose this game, you're staring down, you are 1-3. You're 1-3, and you have 3 more games on the schedule that I would say should be going in your favor. Vanderbilt, Appalachian State, and Tennessee. The Kentucky game, that's a must-win too, but you have to take care of the business at hand first. And this weekend it's Missouri. I think South Carolina's got more talent on the roster. I think Missouri probably has the edge in coaching. So these players are just going to have to play out of their minds again. And emotion is just going to have to take over. And if they play the way they did with that kind of emotion, that kind of intensity, the intensity factor, it's not going to be there. I'm just going to level with you. It's just not. I mean, it's a road game. It is a conference road game, but there is no way that these guys are going to be as hyped as they were on this past Saturday as they are. But if they can just at least get me 90% of that, they'll win this game. They'll win it, and they'll win it comfortably. Because I'm telling you, Missouri will give up some points. They're going to give up some points to South Carolina. They have not faced an offense quite like this yet. The defense has really scared me. You know, we've got a defensive-minded head coach. I mean, and our defense is, I mean, it's not good right now. I mean, our defensive backs, you know, they're not locking down. They are not tackling well in space. Our defensive line, I feel like, is playing well. They're getting a push. They got some push on Tua Tagovailoa. I'll say his name right eventually. On Saturday, sacked him a couple of times. But, you know, then he went to throwing the little slant passes, and I mean, he's just so quick that you can't get back there to him. You cannot get back there to him fast enough. Also, I didn't talk about this, and I knew he was left-handed, and he threw with his left arm, but I really didn't think about it a lot until the game started on Saturday. I was like, yeah, I forgot about him being a southpaw. To me, that just adds another element in his favor. I don't know what it is, but, you know, I think that your defensive backs are used to seeing the ball come off a certain way, and then you've got a left-hander, and it just adds another dimension to it. I don't know if that really makes a lot of sense, but I mean, to me, I just think it works to their advantage. But anyway, Gamecocks and Muschamp and the defensive coaches not seen anything they haven't seen before. They've seen the same quarterback before, just wearing a different colored uniform. He had a lot more elite talent around him back then. He doesn't have that elite talent there this year. You should be able to win this game. That spread is too big. I think it's downright disrespectful, but you got to look at who you lost to in game one. Okay, they didn't look good on Friday night. They didn't look good. North Carolina didn't. I thought that they were, you know, maybe a 8-win team. I don't know. They may be a 6-win team, possibly. I mean, who knows? Things are starting to get ironed out a little bit here right now. But this is a huge game for you guys. It is huge. You have to go on the road. You've got to win this game. It is a must-win situation. They're all must-wins, in my opinion, but this one is it's imperative. You've got to go out there and win. You've got to get this thing to 2-3, and you've got to go out there next week. You've got to beat Kentucky. You have got to get that monkey off your back, that the madness, the inexplicable losses to this team, it's got to stop. Last year's Kentucky team was the only one that you should have been losing to. That's the only one out of the 5 losses that you've experienced against these guys in a row. Last year's Kentucky team was the only one, conceivably, that you should have lost a game to. That was better than you. The other ones were not. It makes me angry just thinking about it. And if they lose this game on Saturday, I'm going to be angry. I'm going to be a lot angrier than I was this past Saturday when we lost to Alabama. I mean, I got Clemson fans all the place. Well, look, you don't even have a win over a FBS team yet. FBS, boo, boo, boo. Yeah, we don't. Okay, yeah. So we lost to the best team in the country, and then we crapped the bed against another one. We don't have a win against the FBS team. We don't. You got us there. So it's time to right the ship. It's time to turn around and start winning some freaking ball games, and it starts this Saturday in Columbia, Missouri, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Central. Make sure you're there. Appreciate it. Go Gamecocks. Woo! Win despite boom. On that note, I did want to speak about one more thing. He did look like he had a little bit of intensity about himself, and I was proud that he finally showed a little bit of heart, desire, moxie on Saturday afternoon, for lack of better terms, balls, with the fake field goal. I thought it was a good call. I did not think the fake punt was a good call after you'd already faked a field goal. I thought the fake punt was kind of stupid. But, you know, I mean, I still solidly think that Muschamp's a buffoon. His defensive coordinator is a buffoon. But, hey, I mean, he tried to right himself. It's just a little bit too late right now. Too late to take back the UNC loss. All right, guys, I'll see y'all later. Carolina Jackpot, peace. And I'm out. Go Cox. Woo!